Hello everyone, Krydex here, and welcome back to our Season 3 of pYanodon's, where we are ever so slowly working towards Pi2 Science. We've still got a long road ahead of us, though, before we get there. Because, well, most stuff is not on trains, and we need a ton of resources, and there's still a lot left to do. Iron 2 is something I'm probably going to work on soon-ish, because we just keep running out of iron. And moss and wood are running great now, thanks to our recent work. So that's nice to have that kind of locked down. We need moss for all sorts of things, and I can easily expand this, so that's really nice. And I really like that it's controlled, because pretty soon here we're going to have enough moss stored up in that provider chest, and then when we do, it's gonna stop spending stone even when we have it. And so it'll just basically kind of idle on the free moss recipe, but then eventually it'll switch back over to the stone moss recipe if we start using up all our moss. So I actually really like that system. Because it's kind of like it's in low gear, just making the free version of moss until it needs to be in high gear, and then it kicks over to high gear and starts using up stone. I love that capability. Like, you could not have done that before. Now, because people always leave comments where it's like, well, you could have had 2 entire banks of moss farms, and one of them turns on, and you just use input priority stuff. And it's like, yes, you could have done that, and that would have been literally twice as much infrastructure for the same thing that I accomplished with one decider combinator. That is the power of Factorio 2.0, and it is beautiful. Anyway, what are we doing right now? I think we had talked about setting up fast inserters over here. And I do think that's what I'm gonna do. So, because we're about to get stack inserters as well. And they're gonna spend all my resources, just like everything else likes to, but that's okay. And we're gonna need more belts. Did these need belts? Those don't need any belts. Those do need lubricant. Right, we don't have lubricant yet. I will have to handle that somehow. That's, I don't know. Problem for another minute. Not a problem for today. All right, belt. So that gets belts, and ideally it does not get treated wood. Okay. Feed that, feed that. All right, and then we need to make regular inserters. Need mechanical. You know what? No, that's kind of too much of a pain in the butt. I think I'd rather do some belty shenanigans here and just do that. This whole thing is not long for this world anyway. This is just total spaghetti town, so it's not gonna be around forever. And then you're gonna go if inserters are less than, I don't know, 8. And we read whole belt. Okay. All right, that should work to get inserters going on there, which will feed to you, and then iron niobium alloy. We are loading onto the belt, or are we not? Why do I not remember? Here, iron niobium alloy, right here. What did I do with it, though? I did something with iron niobium alloy. I didn't make it for no reason. Where's it going? Where does it come from? Where does it go? Wait, did I make it for no reason? Hold on, I'm having a crisis. Iron niobium alloy. Only the nichrome's going up there. The iron niobium alloy is literally just sitting on this belt. Okay, I did make it for no reason. Now, when I say no reason, that's not quite what I mean. Because I know the reason I made it was for fast and stack inserters. But for some reason, I thought we had made it for something we were already making. And that is not the case, apparently. Which means we need to bring it up and load it onto our belt here. Maybe like this. Of course, this is in the way. Alright, so there's... iron, niobium alloy. Oh god. There it is. Nope, that's the recipe. That one. 10? 10. 10 sounds great. Okay, so that's there. The belts are ready, and then the fast inserters, when they're ready, will get fed into a provider chest that then will feed into there, but that one will only run if we have fast inserter greater than 50. So that way we build up a stockpile of fast inserters first. And there we go, we already got our first one. And then those are gonna stop at 100. Sweet. Okay, that works. I think put some wood in here. Doesn't matter what the recipe is, we'll change it later. And yeah, we just gotta wait for that science to finish and we're good to go. So why don't we now work towards, I think, well, lubricant, maybe. I don't even have it researched, that's right. Olefins and oleochemicals. Okay, how easy is that to just piece together somewhere? So olefins are... I mean, at least for right now, until I get to this research, which is weird, it's mostly Nexalit creates olefins. Hydrogen's kind of free, and CO2's very free. So many weird things going on. Anyway, but right now we have this recipe already unlocked, which is nichrome and syngas, but then we get a bunch of light oil, so it's kind of not what we want. I mean, you can even see the recipe name is convert syngas to light oil, and it's like, that's not what we're really wanting to do right now. Petroleum gas. I don't really want to do that either. So you can use the light oil from this one, and then refined syngas, and then you end up with more olefins. So a bunch of nichrome made a bunch of petroleum and a decent amount of olefins. Plus syngas and refined syngas. I mean, it's great to get petroleum. I don't even know what petroleum's used for yet, though. It's only used in a few recipes, and I don't have any of them yet. So, I have zero need for petroleum. Well, we will need it for MIBC later. I will need MIBC, like, on the sooner end of things. We can use it with acid gas to make sulfuric acid, or we can use it with chromium to turn into refined syngas, which is interesting because we just used refined syngas to turn light oil into petroleum. I wonder if that's net positive and you get some tar out. Is that net positive? So 250 ref gas makes 400 petrol. And then 400 petrol makes far more than 250 ref gas. So yeah, I mean, that is actually a positive loop. So you're basically turning chromium and nichrome into olefins and tar and a crap ton of steam. But there's also light oil that comes in. Is there a way to turn tar into light oil? I mean, we already know there is. It's just the tar processing chain, but there's all sorts of conversion recipes. You can convert light oil into syngas as well. There's so many different... The FTS reactor has so many different conversion recipes. Anyway, we're way off in the weeds for how to make lubricant. If I just research fish stage 2, I can just make lubricant out of fish oil. I think that's the way to go. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna ignore that one and do that. I knew there was an easier way. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I thought fish oil was related to lubricant. I don't know if I had said that out loud, but I thought it once or twice. For some reason, I was just kind of assuming that that would be later that we would get that recipe. And I also remember, I think I remember doing this one at some point. Maybe not. Or maybe they changed it. But I've never gotten that far in Pi before, so. And then wax can also be a lubricant recipe. Or aromatics, but that's not until later as well. Okay, well that'll work. We'll turn fish oil and ash into some lubricant for our stack inserters. And we are gonna start working on iron 2. It's finally time. And this will get us molten iron, which will allow for steel 2. So this is all gonna be great. It's not even that crazy of a build. Only 20 megawatts, and for one belt of iron ore gets you 24 iron plates. Like, that's so many plates. We need stack inserters to be able to put it on the belt. Now, is this where... you know what? I'm wondering if loaders are kind of broken now. Like, balance-wise. Because if loaders support stacked items, that kind of circumvents the whole purpose of having these stack inserters. That almost feels like cheating. Interesting. We'll see if they end up stacking items, but I think they do. And that's actually... I actually don't know if I want that. Because I kind of like the difficulty of like, hey, if you want to stack items, you have to use these stack inserters that are 2x1 inserters. That's kind of the whole point, it feels like. And totally getting around that challenge by just using loaders, which then effectively work as multiple stack inserters at the same time, that feels way too strong. Especially given how cheap they are. Like, it's almost like there needs to be two types of loaders. There would be a regular loader and a stack loader, which then would consume multiple stack inserters. That would feel more fair to me. So we're about to find out if these loaders support stacking or not, and if I can turn it off or not. I hope I can turn it off. If I can't... I might enable belt stacking. Okay, there we go. Oh, look at that. They already got me covered. Enable belt stacking loaders. None. Loaders will not stack. Loader recipes are less expensive. Turbo loader plus only. Only tiers turbo and above will be able to stack items onto belts. Well, that's not any good for me. All loaders can stack. Single recipe per tier that does not require stack inserters, but is more expensive than none. I would love an option. Oh, never mind. I'm dumb. There is an option for that. I was about to say it was in a different paragraph, so my eyes didn't see it. I'm blind. Blind as a bat, because it was right in front of me. So where did it go? What's the mod called? Loaders. L. Oh, it's in startup. That's why I can't find it. Yeah, I was looking for separate, and I was like, I don't see it, but it's like up at the top. Separate stack loader. Separate loader to stack items. Recipe will require stack inserters. That's exactly what I want. So I'm going to go try that recipe out. I will be right back. All right, we're back, and let's check out what we got. Still nothing. Uh-oh. Nothing there. Oh, there it is. Oh my god. So another 2,000 research away. Okay, that's not good. Well. I mean, it exists. I was hoping it would exist at each different belt speed tier, but it looks like it only exists at the blue belt speed tier, which is weird because it unlocks after the red. So now I'm confused. So we're gonna unlock it after red belts? Yeah, I mean, this is clearly not designed in the PyTech tree in mind, so it probably needs some changes. Whether those changes come from the Pi side or the loader's modernized side, I don't know, but this needs to be shifted around a little bit. But if it's supposed to be what it says, then that would put it after blue circuit. So when do we get high-tech circuit boards? What is it, circuit 03 or something? What does it call itself? It calls itself processing unit. Ah, same as vanilla. So these don't show up until Pi 3. And what about blue belts? Express belts show up even later. But they only need super alloy and special small parts, which comes pretty soon. So basically what I'm discovering is that we're going to be able to get 45 a second loaders that even stack on the belt before we're going to be able to get blue belts. That's obviously not good. It only matters in one context, which is loader to loader, which would be train loading. So it's not really a huge deal, but that is what I just discovered. And for me personally, I was hoping that there would be a stack loader for each belt speed. So there'd be a yellow stack loader, and then a red stack loader, and then a green, or blue. I don't think we get green belts in Pi. No green belts. Anyway, all that to be said, we'll see it someday, but not anytime soon. So why don't we work on iron 2? The jaw crushing we already have. In fact, we need less of it, not more of it. The screening is new, so we need a bunch of screeners, which means a bunch of steel. So I'll just grab that now. Grab a bunch of iron. Probably a bunch of circuits. Maybe some glass? I don't know what all I'm gonna need. Screeners. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Secondary crushers, also expensive. 3 of those. Impact crushers. Where are those? You know, there's a mod that rearranges the categories of all this that I probably should get. People have told me about it a couple times now. Oh, I need local radars for impact crushers. Right, so I need logs. That's kind of a weird one. All right, impact crusher 2. Oh no, we're well into the weeds. I need ACIs and I need steam engines, which we're running out of because I don't have enough iron. So it's a good thing we're doing this. Oh god, small parts. Small parts explosion. All right. Okay, that's better. 3 of those. Oh wait, I already made one, so... Oh, wait, nope. Stop everything. I only need 2. Okay. Ball mill, I need 1,000,000. 7. 8 requires more steel. We're using all the steel today. But the good news is we'll get it all back, so it'll be worth it. And then I need 5 hydroclassifiers. Where are those bad boys? Raw ores? Yeah. Oh god, they're expensive too. Need a lot more circuits. Now I need more intermetallics. Now I need more steam engines, which I'm out of, so I can't even make more. Now I need boffs and casting units. I have 1 casting unit. I don't think I have any boffs. So I'll make another casting unit. 4 boffs. And we're almost there. We just need 1 cyclone, which needs more iron. And we couldn't have made this before we had niobium. It's worth pointing out, because that needs niobium pipes. So this one, I think I already talked about this though. You can skip this step, right? This step just adds even more unslimed iron to the mix, and you could just sinkhole or store up the iron pulp 1 that you're getting from this recipe. So it's actually not necessary, and it only accounts for 25% of the total output, so you still get 75% of this even without niobium. So you can do this long before niobium. Anyway, I think that's all we need, so let's get to it. Step 1 is cutting off irons. Well, here. Step 1 is this. Cut off this iron supply. And then we can deconstruct the second batch of jaw crushers here. Actually, yeah, we want to get rid of that too. Okay, turn on my bots. You guys go to town. I can help out. Gimme, gimme, gimme. See, yeah, something's weird with Blueprint Shotgun. Like, you could see I was holding spacebar, and then I moved it over, and then it stopped vacuuming up the building that was being vacuumed up. So yeah, something's off with the hitboxes and like the size of the buildings and stuff. And it's probably a combination of like the range of the Blueprint Shotgun combined with the size of the building combined with the radius of the vacuum / shotgun. Guessing it's related to all that somehow, but yeah. Okay, so anyway, we'll leave that all there for now. We'll probably rebuild that a bit, but we'll take the processed iron and then we process it further. Pray I do not alter it further. So 6 of those. Processed iron comes in here. And let's see, what do we got? We've got as far as rates, we've got 1.667, so we need 3 in. I think we're at the stage where we should start building with faster inserters where we can. I think I can afford it. Because eventually we're going to get to the point where we're going to have UPS problems, and using 4 mechanical inserters instead of 2 regulars is just not a good idea. It adds up. I know it doesn't seem like much now, but, you know, we're already at an update time of 2.7, and we only get 16.6 to play with, so, you know, good habits. If every single build in your entire base, you know, switches from mechanical to regular inserters, that makes a pretty big difference. Alright, I didn't even look at the output. Yeah, I only need a mechanical on this. Because that's a total of 0.666. So get rid of these. 1 mechanical out is all we need. And that provides 3 different, grade 1, 2, and 3. Grade 3 grade 3 crushes back into grade 2 immediately. And it's exactly half. So I'm considering this. This and this. And we do something like this. And then we blacklist grade 3 on the output inserters. So we just direct feed the grade 3 like that. I like it. And then that grade 3 becomes grade 2. The problem is we like to prioritize the grade 2. Is that going to be possible here? Could this even break? I run into this every time. I need to write down my solutions. So, like, when can things backing up actually break things, and when is it fine? Because here, like, let's say we were not using the grade 2 from these, then these would stop running because these would back up on grade 3 output. And then these would have their chance to output their grade 2, and then that grade 2 would get used. So I think it's fine. Like, it all turns into grade 1 at the end of the day. And if we're out of grade 1, then that means these can run. The impact crushers. Because their only output is grade 1. So that means these can run, no matter what, if we're out of grade 1. And then if these can run, that means these can run. So that means we're using grade 2 and grade 3 up, which means these can run because the outputs are all getting used. So yeah, there's no way this can back up regardless of how we prioritize it. There is a way that it can turn into like a roller coaster, where like one of them is getting used less, so it starts backing up, but then the other one, like, it'll all work out in the end, and it shouldn't result in any sort of slowdowns, I don't think. But yeah, now we need, this is kind of weird. I don't know if I should do it this way or not, but it almost feels like this just is too convenient to not do it this way. Because then our 2 impact crushers can go there. So, I mean, this can even be on a different side, which actually prioritizes it differently if we want it to. So there we go. So that grade 2, we want to be a higher priority than the grade 2. So the way that we can do it is we can split off. So now the one on this lane I need to do like a weird situation. Okay, this is weird, but I think, does this what does this do? What does this do? I think this prioritizes whatever's on the right lane. Well, heck, can't I just do that? This will prioritize whatever's on the right lane, because the right lane will fall behind on the back part of this. And then if the right lane was fully saturated, it would, whatever's on the left lane wouldn't get a chance. So I think that alone will prioritize that. And it'll put it all on one lane, which I don't really care about. And then now's where we can filter the grade 2 to the left. Iron grade 2. That is the correct, yeah, signal. And then we'll go to the impact crushers here. And those can eat up to 1. And I will use a regular inserter for that. Alright. Everybody happy? Seems like no power blinkage. And then that gets all the grade 2 taken care of. And then we get grade 1 coming out. Which should also be prioritized. We get 1.5 coming out, so I need 2 inserters. So that's on the priority lane. But then we've got gravel. We've got gravel too. Okay. So gravel is on this one. And it should just be grade 1 left. Wait, what happens to the grade 3? Grade 3 is getting direct fed. So the grade 3 I don't have to worry about. So the grade 3 gets direct fed. So there's only grade 1 and 2 on this belt. The grade 2 all gets filtered out to go to these, which just puts more grade 1 on the belt, and gravel. So then I just need a gravel filter maybe here. Gravel. And that can go the way of the gravel, which is down here. So the gravel, I'll just side load it onto that for now. Okay, so that's gravel like that. And then this is gonna be grade 1 out. Perfect, and that gets loaded into a whole chunk of ball mills. I'll do 8 ball mills here. And that's just an easy 1 in, 1 out situation, so. I don't know, I mean, I can do this a number of ways. But this should be fine. Yeah, the rates are all pretty small. In, flip, flip, and then out, 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 out. Okay, that goes here. So that should be good, and then we're ball milling it, and now we've got to hydro classify a bunch of crap. We hydro classify all the iron ore dust. We are running out of space, but I'm gonna delete all this part at the bottom, so don't you worry. So we'll hydro classify these. We get water here. And then this output comes down and around. The rate is 1.2 a piece. What do you know? That works out nicely. And then we gotta get water in, and then they have 2 outputs. Like this. And then connect up everything. Okay, getting there. Now I think it's time to kill this part. Make sure I'm not killing anything important. I don't know if this power connection here is, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Load bearing or not. So we'll just make sure that that's connected around the edge there. And I can delete these. Random poles in the middle. Okay, so this is a lot to get rid of. Probably gonna run out of inventory space. Bots are needing to charge. How did stone furnaces end up on the ground? I'm actually not totally sure about that. Alright, there we go. Everybody's happy. So get rid of... I'll get rid of the processed iron in a minute. I don't know exactly what's going on with all this beltage. Probably should delete it all. Except for the stone output, which is here. And the gravel output, which is here. Those are needed. And then this is the processed output, which will go up to there. Okay, perfect. So now we've got all that space back, and we need... Well, let's get our casting units set up. We're gonna have 2 casting units. Oh, I can also improve my hot air production. Maybe we'll do that next. Like this. Now, which belt was the iron on? This one. Or no, we found out it works fine to just have a loader on that square. Okay. So that's that. And then we need sand casting and borax. So that needs to come over. Okay, so there's sand castings. Borax needs to come down from wherever its little hidey hole is. Where is borax? Oh, it's all the way up there. Okay. Fine. There's borax. Alright, and then... But we don't need borax and sand casting to come all this way. That feels silly, because sand casting's coming up. So, really, we just need borax. Okay. Borax coming down. All coming together. Shouldn't have stone on it. I guess yeah, it was the wrong. It needed to have stone on it for a second, but good now. Alright, borax in, and then hot air in. It's easy enough. Done. And then at this point, we just need the molten iron. Okay, sweet. We're almost there. So last couple steps is the buffs. And the other two hydro classifiers. And the hydrocyclone. So we're getting there. So we do need to feed these with fuel. We'll deal with that in a minute. But molten iron gets hooked up to there. Oxygen. We need 48. Is that a lot? That is kind of a lot, actually. For now, I'm going to share with the Antimox. Because I don't have a bunch of electrolyzers on me. So that will go up. And it will only require a few of these because they can go so far. Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Alright, hook those up. Now we got oxygen, and now we gotta feed. Oh, these need borax too. Crap, I forgot about that part. I forgot about that part. That can be shifted up. This can do this, and there's borax. Perfect. And then borax meets with raw coal. And then we're gonna need to load that pretty rapidly because these consume 5 megawatts. 2 might not even be enough. No, it's not. I think 2 yellows is enough. Okay, so that's done, and now we need the slimed iron. Well, unslimed, I guess we should say. So this makes iron pulp and iron slime, and then we need 2 more to unslimify it. Like a this. And then the water. We actually need to go up and over, so the water's attached. The iron pulp will have go up to the. What does this make? It just makes more slime. So then the water actually needs to do this. And the slimed iron, or the iron pulp, I should say, needs to do that. Okay. And then we get slime and tailings out from all of that. Okay. And then this goes to the buffs. And so does this. The rate is very low. Unslimed iron represents a lot of iron. And then we want to prioritize this one, so we'll side load these. And there we go. Load in the unslimed iron. Power everything up. And then we need to get water pumping, and I think we're done? Might be done. Right now we're not doing anything with the tailings. We can get raw nexolite later if we want. For now, we're just gonna dump it. And I think we're good to fire this puppy up. So there's a question about fuel for those, if we have enough. I'll get rid of all that processed iron ore. Let's get rid of this borax. Let's get rid of these sand castings. Get rid of this gravel. Alright. These are already working. Go, iron dust. How many? Oh, water. Right. How many waters do I need? I don't remember. I think it was at least 2, though. Okay, this is the water pipe. Water 40, 120, 360. Yeah, that should be enough. 600. Hey, unslimed iron. There it is. We cooking. Oh, that one's not hooked up to water. And there's molten iron, and pretty soon that should turn into the first hella iron plates. Glorious. Oh, it's glorious. Look at it go. Alright, the downside is all this ash that I forgot about. Okay, so the ash. This is 20 megawatts. This is gonna be 6 raw coal a second. A lot of raw coal. Alright, so here we have ash. Ash for the ash god. And I might distribute onto both sides. Alright, that should do it. Hooray. I was under the impression this is a pass-through, but I don't think it is, actually. Now that I look closer. So, what that means is this needs to be a up and down, and this needs to be a down. There we go. Now we should be getting a full belt of iron. And in fact, it's more than a full belt of iron. That is glorious. So, at least for now, I think I actually want this to be we'll fill a provider chest with the extra. Sweet. Oh, it's so much iron. It's beautiful. And we're not gonna need that much iron. Nowhere near it. I mean, if we look at iron plate usage, like, you know, it's been all over the place, but 200 a minute is pretty consistent consumption over time. And that's only 3 or 4 a second. And now we're making like 20 a second. If everything's running, which it won't be right now because of not enough oxygen. Okay, I need a few more electrolyzers then. Aluminum. Definitely need more steam engines. I don't know if we have any yet. We literally don't have any yet. Okay. Well, the iron flow we should start to see increasing pretty soon here. And then this guy I'm gonna limit. No, we'll let it go. It'll fill up. It'll fill up. I'll just handcraft a few. And we'll just expand this little section here. I guess I can only get 2 more. You want these to be locked in. All right. It's still not enough, but it should be even closer to what we need. And given we're not going to be using the full 24 a second anytime soon, we should be okay. Though this is also what makes steel. It's worth noting. We need molten iron for molten steel. Molten steel is basically just coke plus molten iron. And even more oxygen, because it's also in oxygen furnaces. But what's crazy is then you're getting a ratio of 3 to 1. 3 iron became 1 steel because we get 25, or well, we get 32 out from that recipe and 75. So it's actually almost like 2.5 to 1. I only need 2.5 iron plates for 1 steel. Whereas before, 1 steel was costing me 20 iron ore, which at that previous stage was worth how many plates? I don't know. Maybe 5? Is it about 4 to 1 that I had at this? No, I was doing this. It was 5 to 1, so 20 iron ore was 4 plates. So I guess it was 4 plates to 1 steel. And it's now about 2.5. So it's almost doubled even in that efficiency regard. But yeah, it's pretty great. We're not gonna have to worry about iron plates for a while. Look at this. Look at this spike. The highest we ever had was 338 a minute. 360 maybe. And now up to 1.8 thousand. Epic iron. So yeah, after just like half an hour, this is gonna be backed up very nicely. And the other nice part is now, at least for until we go to molten steel, where it'll be even better, we currently are only needing 15 iron ore, so the other 15 iron ore can fully go to steel making. So I can have my iron production running at full tilt and my steel production running at full tilt. So we are good to go on iron. Pretty epic stuff, I might say. Get a screenshot for this, and I think it's the perfect place to call it an episode. So, yeah. I mean, this thing's almost full. And then once this one's full, then this one will get full pretty quick. And then we'll be off to the races. But yeah, as always, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I just noticed rubber is potentially... Oh, you know what? I know what's happening. I know what's happening. This... Yep. Wait, no? Wait, no. Wait, what? What? Hey guys, did my game break? Why is carbon black on this belt? Because I changed the recipe and it kicked it out? I bet that's what happened. Carbon black doesn't spoil. It must have been when I changed the recipe. But when you change a recipe, doesn't it put it in your inventory? Like it just did? I'm confused. Because yeah, when you change... I wonder if I changed it from map view. I bet if you change a recipe from map view, it ends up in the trash slots. Yep, that's the answer. That's the answer, folks. We figured it out. Alright, well, there you have it. Easy way to break your production chains is change a recipe from map view. Got it. Alright, well, anyway. With that, we will call it an episode. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next episode.